I wonder if he's dead. When Mom and I travel, I always pack a lunch. And one of the things I take are the vegetable bars. They're easy to eat and they take the place of lunch. If that's the only thing you have, you can get by with that. You can save some time, save some money, and keep on driving. We're going toward Paris and Maysville and a little town called Augusta. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. So, I'm going to start with my 8-ounce cream cheese. And I've let it set out so that it softens. But first, I have crescent dinner roll. It's the sheet. You bake that sheet just by the directions on the crescent dinner roll package. And you let it cool. So this is ready. The instructions are on the package with the temperature and how long it takes to bake. So I'm leaving that aside. Now we're going to put together the ingredients for the vegetable bars. I've got my cream cheese. Got to chop up a little more. Now I split my celery. You want everything minced. I've seen these vegetable bars made, and people will put the vegetables on in chunks. What are you going to have? You're going to have a mess on the floor or in your lap. So I cut everything small. I minced the thing. This is my my celery. I've already split it so that it cuts very small. And each vegetable that I use is about, for one 8-ounce cream cheese, you would use 2 tablespoons. So very easy to remember. You just have to remember which vegetables you're going to use first. I'm using celery, a little bit of red pepper, and a little bit of green pepper. That's for color. I've got minced carrots and red onion. Those are the ingredients that I'm going to use. When you're trying to pile all that stuff on top of your cream cheese layer, it can be a mess if you've got too many things that are chunky. Now you can mix these with your cream cheese if you want to make it simple. Tastes just the same, looks different. One's pretty, the other's, good enough to eat. So, here I've got this celery. I'm going to mince it a little bit more with my knife. This is the way I do it. This little knife is kind of sharp. It works very well on something like that. That's how I like it. Now I'm going to dump this into this little dish, rake it off. Could have used a bigger dish because I may not have enough room. We'll see. What doesn't go in the dish will end up on the floor. Stuff on the floor. There's celery. I've already minced my carrots. That's your carrots. This is your celery. Now, I'm going to cut up a little bit of the red pepper. I sliced it so make it a little easier and quicker. And I'm just going to do the same thing to it that I did to the celery and the carrots. You don't need a lot of the pepper. A lot of people don't like red and green pepper. I find the red pepper is a little sweeter than the green pepper. And I like to use it when I want something to be colorful. All right. Let's see, we'll do a little bit more. Once you get all these spread on top of your cream cheese, it's plenty. Now I want to tell you about US 68 yard sale. It was fun. And I always do a lunch for us. There's a really nice park. Let me get that over there. There's a really nice park about halfway through the yard sale. And you don't find very many restaurants along that route because it's farm country. Beautiful, beautiful farms. You can look out and see those old houses. Really, really nice. And it's a good yard sale too. And the last one I went on, we went through Paris, Kentucky, and right through the town. And I found a yard sale that had Corningware. Nice Corningware. And the pieces I bought were large pieces. I really didn't need any Corningware. I wasn't planning on buying any anyway, but these were large pieces. And every now and then you need a really nice large Corningware dish for casserole. So, okay, we've got to get our onion. Make sure it's red onion. Now you can use any kind you want, but I just like red onion and I like it for the color. Gives you a very pretty color. Now I'm going to cut across these. I'm mincing it too. Some people don't like onion in anything. I think there are recipes that without onion you might as well not make the dish. Onion comes in mighty handy. I'll try to speed this up a little bit. First U.S. yard sale I went on was years ago. The very first year when I went to the 27 yard sale, my neighbor and I decided we were going to go for a drive. And she was doing the driving. I was living in Tennessee then. We drove all the way to Chattanooga. Pretty long drive. We spent the night up on the hill in Chattanooga where they make Jack Daniels whiskey. You climb this mountain, got right on top and the level as can be. Now, we gotta rake it off into the dish too. Put it out here where I can get it. Now don't be surprised if I don't dump this right on the floor. But I'll try to be careful. Okay, we didn't know we were on the route for the yard sale that year, because it actually was the very first year. And there weren't too many people that were observing, but we stopped as we went along the way. And, well, we found some nice things. In fact, I found a little jar, but it didn't have a lid. And I had that little jar about 2 years. Went to the antique mall in Knoxville, and it was a table of all kinds of little things. And right on the front of that table was a jar lid. It's square. My jar I broke. You can see the lines. Oh, I always glue things back together, and it's something I really like. I just can't bear to throw it away. So I glued it back together, and I just keep it. So anyway, well, I was so lucky that day and thrilled to pieces when I found that lid. Now, let's see, what am I going to do here? Okay, I need to cut this a little bit more. My green pepper. I'm going to mix it with my red pepper. Drop it right down in here. All right, let's get the cream cheese here. And the mayonnaise. And I'm going to put about that would be probably 2 tablespoons. We've got to mix this together. It's pretty firm, but I think we're going to manage with it this way. And I put my accent. I don't know if you use accent or not, but I like it in certain recipes. So I'm going to put about, let's see, a teaspoonful, right, a teaspoon, calls for a teaspoon. There we go, teaspoonful of accent. That's going to give you some flavor. Mix this up good. Probably should have used a fork. This is one of my favorite things. You can snack on it, you can use it for a meal. Like I said, when we travel, this is one of the things I take. I may have these eaten before Friday, and I may not get to go on the trip. And I'll end up making potato salad and ham sandwiches for our lunch, which is just as good. Now the yard sale we're going on, it'll take you through Paris. You can go beyond long highway after we eat lunch in the park. We can go to Mount Washington. You may not have heard of Mount Washington. It's very old, Civil War old. It's just one little street, and they've got wonderful log cabins, gift shops. It's a great place to visit when you're on the road vacationing. And they say there are some ghosts in the basement part of some of those log cabins, in the rooms that were hidden where they had to hide the slaves, that they were coming through, going north, and to keep them from being caught, they had these dark rooms underground and in the back where these soldiers could not find the people. So one time Mom just had to go in one of those rooms and see, because she was curious about the ghosts. Yeah, that's Mom for you. Mom believes in orbs too, so most anything. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put this pan right here. I left it in the oven about 2 minutes too long. I can't set my oven temperature because I washed off all those little numbers, and so I have to guess at what the temperature is. So we're going to spread this. We're going to do this the original way. I'm going to spread this. Okay. That's cute. Okay. Not right to run out of something to talk about, but I don't think I will. When we were after we got through at a yard sale, I guess it was the first time we went together. We went on up, let's drive on up to Maysville and to Mount Washington. Mom hadn't seen it. I had. So we went to Maysville. They have a wall right beside the river. Cross the ridge right there, and it takes you into Ohio. So someone has painted this concrete wall, a long wall along the river. It's got things like old river boats. I just can't remember what the different scenes were, but there was one where Rosemary Clooney is sitting in, I believe it was a convertible car. We ate lunch there, very nice restaurant, and we decided Augusta is just 15 miles from here. Let's just drive on over and see what's there. Well, you may wonder, why Augusta? Well, Augusta is where Nick Clooney lives. You know who Nick Clooney is, don't you? If you don't, you will now. Nick Clooney is George Clooney's father. So we decided to just drive on over, and Nick and his wife live in Augusta, right on the river. I think there's a Rosemary Clooney museum there. It's a beautiful little town, and there's a first year Nana was with us, and when we got there, we went in this cute little gift shop. We thought it was Nana's gift shop. That's what the sign said. When we got inside, we met the owner, who was Nina. Nina is Nick Clooney's wife. She was so sweet, so pleasant. I think that was just before George Clooney got married, and she was preparing to make the trip for the wedding. She was a very delightful lady to me. And Augusta is a nice little place to visit. So, Mom has a picture of her with Nick Clooney. Anna has a picture of her with Nina Clooney. I'm next. I'm going to have mine with George Clooney. Yeah, I know that's most unlikely, but you know you can dream. Dreams don't hurt anybody. Well, unless they're bad dreams. I wouldn't call that a bad dream. Now, this doesn't look very pretty, but if I hadn't had my crescent dinner rolls in the oven too long, it'd be a little more flexible. So we're going to we just sprinkle this stuff on top. That's all we have to do. This is the celery. Just going up and down through here. You're going to sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Probably need a little more celery. Going to have to cut a little bit more. So, move this over here and cut a little more celery. Put it over here on the side, at the end. I like everything nice and even, if I can get it that way. That'll do it. That'll be okay. Next I'll sprinkle the red onion. I want to tell you something while I'm doing this. It's something I enjoy doing, and I don't want any snide remarks. So, this is starting to take on a little color. I really should have cut up more vegetables on this, but I can always add more. Take it out and get it ready to cut up. I can add more. Doesn't look like much. You'd be surprised how good it is. The carrots are grated real small. Everything needs to be small. Doesn't have to be, but that's the way I like it. Spread out good. I've got them all. Now, all the way to the corners. Now I'm going to put a little cheese on it. Yeah, I got it here. Of course, I'm not going to find that. Going to have to use my scissors. These things have to be so aggravating. There we go. Okay. This cheese will do the trick. Put a lot of cheese. You can use mild or sharp cheese, whatever you like. I think sharp cheese gives a little bit more of a, well, I don't know what kind of taste, but I like it. I use sharp cheese if I have it. If I don't, I use whatever's in the cheese drawer. This is just about got it. Good coverage there. Now here's what I'm going to do. I meant to get some press and seal. And use this stuff. I forgot. Now we're going to see how this works. If I can get it out in one sheet. Okay, here we go. That was good. And I'm going to lay this. Going to lay it on top. Didn't make it quite big enough. I'll make do with it. Should have been a little bit longer. I'm putting this on. And here's what I'm doing. I'm pressing it down. Pressing it so that the vegetables cling to the cream cheese there. I'm going to do another layer so I can wrap it and put it in the refrigerator. And when you're ready, take it out of the refrigerator. Make sure you have a nice sharp knife to cut it with, and you're going to cut it in squares. I just hate working with this stuff. Here we go again. This time we're going to get it right. And now it's going to be ready for the refrigerator. Press and seal would stick to the pan. This is not sticking. I think it's good enough to hold it. So I'm ready for it. So later, you get a good knife, you cut it apart, put it on a, I'm going to say, put it in a dish. See if that gets in there. Okay. Got it. In the refrigerator now. There was more to this story, and I'm trying to think what it was. More that I wanted to tell. Anyway, Mom and I went on one 127 yard sale. Oh, what a mess. It rained cats and dogs that day. We didn't let it stop us. We just kept on going. Had on our flat summer shoes. Didn't make any difference. They got that. Sided our hair. Didn't make any difference. On occasion, you'd use an umbrella. Pulled into one lot to examine the goods, and most of the dealers had already gone. We were to stand right under the edge of his rooftop table, and everything we bought was $1. We couldn't believe. They were nice little things, and I think he was so anxious to get out of the rain that he just marked everything $1. And I think it was that same yard sale. There was another huge, it must have been the whole farm, but turned into a yard sale. We walked up to one booth, and we looked, and I said, Mom, she's got umbrellas. We found umbrellas, $2. So, that's one recipe I can count on being good. My meatloaf, maybe not. Sometimes I think, why bother? Because it can be good one day and the next it won't be. So, I'm going to clean up my mess. Now I'm going to be eating some of this evening, because I really am hungry. Ready to hear some guitar? Well, if I could, I'd sing